Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Second Opinion Podcast, episode number 361. I got a good couple of old gamers here with me today. I've got one down here on the bottom, looks like a fucking, I don't even know. Look at him. Look how rough he looks today. Oh, you fucking bitch. He left. Anyways, also joined by Baron. What's up, Baron? How you doing?
You know what? I am living the dream. There's still leftover barbecue, and we just had some extra birthday cake. My kids' birthdays was yesterday, so I had a piece of cake that I shouldn't have had. So I'm living the dream.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Anyways, so we got a really good podcast today for you guys. We got some great stuff to talk about. BioShock 4, canceled Trevor, DLC, and much, much more. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and get down into it. I guess Bolts is gone. I guess he didn't want to hear how he looked like an old skunk. So I need more money. What is this one? Let's see what this comment is right here. I need more money for what is this? Geometry Dash? Geometro Dash? I'll give you some more money, bud. I got you, man. Big shout out to all of our live viewers and stuff like that as well. Thank you so much for coming in and checking out this amazing episode of the podcast. So I am joined by Baron from Level 1 Gaming, my boy. Big shout outs to him for coming on. So why don't you let everyone know what you're all about, what Level 1 Gaming is all about.
Yeah. So, okay, guys. So LV1 Gaming is a gaming website that focuses on news, reviews, and everything in between. Our whole point is giving people a platform to grow their skills and figure out if this is, journalism, content creating, writing, scripting, if any of that is what you really want to do. And we offer that platform because, everybody starts at level 1. And that's the whole elevator pitch. But for me, I'm the communications director and co-owner. I still feel super new to this. I've been in the space with level 1 for about 4 or 5 years now, about 4 years now. And I keep trying to have David, or the head of LV1 Gaming, I keep trying to have him fire me all the time because it's just
no reason to, bro. Come on now.
I try my best. He'll tell you if he's being honest that I'm always trying to get fired. But yes, Level 1 Gaming. Oh man, reviews, news, all that other fun stuff. Anything around the gaming space, that's where we are. Like I've been having a good time doing it. I really, really enjoy the opportunity, and it's funny because one of the topics of today is where I got my start with GTA 5. That's kind of what got me into this space.
I got you, bro. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and jump into what have you been gaming. So what have you been gaming, bro? What you been playing recently?
Ooh, okay. So shout out to the Fallout TV show because it has thrown me back down the Fallout rabbit hole. So I started off with Fallout New Vegas, and then I realized I couldn't sprint, and I couldn't get the mod to work to get me to sprint. And I was like, this game has aged quite a bit. It's fun, but I'm gonna put it down, after getting kicked out of a few casinos. Then I went over to Fallout 4, and I was like, you know what? This game is way better than I remember it was. And I don't know if it's because the TV show made it so, and it put a rose tinted, glasses on, but I had a lot of fun with it. Then a friend of mine, shout out to Johnny, man. He was like, well, if you like Fallout 4, you should play Fallout 76 because it's Fallout 4 with multiplayer. Yeah, and I was like, So after a few weeks of that, I've been absolutely hooked on Fallout 76. Put it this way. I started heavily playing Fallout 76 maybe 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Maybe. I'll give myself 3 weeks. I hit level 53 this weekend. I have a successful store where I've made over 10,000 caps. And I've been farming the hell out of the Fashionit event.
Bolts is being
Listen, bro. Listen, I tried 17 different ways to get this dumb bitch to log in and use my microphone and the camera, and it was like, update your web browser. Update your web browser. Man, fuck this shit. Sorry, it took so long. I didn't even hear
okay, bro.
I couldn't even hear what you said at the beginning of the podcast because I couldn't hear shit.
Oh, bro, I was like, look at this
bro.
old skunk looking motherfucker on here, and then
Listen.
you cut out, and I was like, this bitch just left the podcast because I was.
You left at the perfect time.
I was getting so fucking pissed, bro. So fucking pissed. I was like,
look
man,
at
this
the glory.
motherfucker.
Hey, look at the glory. Look at that.
Yeah.
I mean, come on now. I love it.
Yeah.
That gray, baby. But yeah, so Baron was just saying that he had jumped into Fallout 76 recently after the recent updates, and has been playing a lot of it. So Bolts, we're gonna move to you. Gaming
we
wise,
know my theories on Fallout 76.
yes, we do. We know your theories. He hates Fallout 76. Has hated this. Listen, we were at QuakeCon right when they announced it, and he looked at me and he was like, bro, I was like, it looks pretty fun. He was like, that's gonna be a travesty, dude. It's gonna be a travesty. And I was like, nah. And then of course it happened the way it did.
Oh,
and then while at E3, okay, we're at the Obsidian press event, and we're checking out Outer Worlds for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get up, and Bolts goes, man, that looks like what Fallout 76 should have been. And just out of coincidence, the president and VP of Bethesda at the time,
Pete Hines?
Not Pete Hines, just one of the VPs. He was over the Elder Scrolls and Fallout series at the time, but he's no longer with Bethesda. But he was standing right there, and Bolts flips his badge and walks off, and he's just glaring at him. And I walk out there, I was like, "What the fuck is wrong with you? Why would you say something like that?" And he was like, "Bro, come on, dude. Listen." He was like, Bolts, and at first I was mad, but then Bolts said it perfectly. He was like, dude, did I say anything like, hey, the developers are shit? Hey, they're pieces of shit. No. I said a common statement of, hey, this is what Fallout 76 should have been.
True statement.
And he said, and dude, if he can't, and Bolts was like, if he can't take that, then he's in the wrong industry. If he cannot take any type of criticism from somebody that is working in the media, then he's in the wrong industry. And I was like, okay. And I was like, at the time, I was like, we are at an event though, and you said it directly to his face. You said it right to his face.
Hey, Bolt, when you think about it, because I never finished Outer Worlds, but I did play the first few hours, first area to the second area. You're not wrong. You could easily flip that as the Fallout 76 narrative.
100%.
And instead of coming from to a T. Wow.
Yeah.
Yep.
Damn.
And I'm just as critical towards games as anybody you'll meet. It takes, because I don't play a lot of games. I pick and choose what I play based off what I see and so on and so forth. Kayla's come up with 5 games that you played this year.
I know, Bolts. I was, and I even said that's why, when I messaged you, Baron, it was the same message I sent Bolts. I was like, if you can, but I'm saying it in the perspective of Bolts,
I love that, because
I don't know who this person is. Real quick, I don't know who this person is. No username. It says hi, Grandpa, and then it says,
"That's brutal."
Can I get a hi?
I know username.
How are you guys talking to each other? Discord? No, we go through Restream. This is the same person that was popping in last time. I got to figure out who this is, bro. I got to. Last time
it's that guy from Bethesda.
Yeah. Right? It's that guy from Bethesda. He's like, I've been waiting for this motherfucker.
Gotcha.
He's like, I've been stalking your bitch ass.
Yeah, right. So Bolts, what have you been gaming, bro?
Okay, so about a month ago, not even a month ago, a couple of weeks ago, I finally got my PS5.
Yeah.
So of course I got my PS5. I'm an Xbox guy through and through, hands down. That's my system. But I needed stuff to play. And as much as I love Game Pass, there's just it's not enough out there. I'm not a big indie game title. These small game types. I'm not that type of person. I want the big involvement games that is going to take me a while to complete. I just for instance, I played Assassin's Creed Odyssey twice and put 180 hours in each time.
Yeah,
he did.
So that's my type of game. That's my investment in games. So of course, I just beat Ghost, which is by far one of the best games I've ever played in my entire life. Top to bottom, graphics, visuals, game mechanics, the story.
Oh, Ghost of Tsushima. Yeah,
Ghost. Yeah, everything was great. So now I'm actually going through the first God of War right now. So that's basically what I've played. I've played some Octo Traveler 1 and 2 that's come on the Game Pass. I've yet to dive into Hellblade 2 yet, just because when it came out I was playing Ghost and I was so involved with that I couldn't break away. It was hard. I did get Helldivers. I did play that a little bit. But my son, he spent the last 5 days here from Wednesday night until today. And he got to level 17 before he left.
That's what I'm talking about. My boy.
So he was balls deep into that. I'm gonna dive more into it, but as of what I've been playing, like I said, I played Ghost, I played Helldivers, I'm in God of War right now, so that's really my involvement. And I will say this, for whatever reason, I don't know why, but I've been playing hellacious Call of Duty, and I don't know why.
Bro, because of you, actually, use that as a segue. Because of you, I re-downloaded Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, and I've been playing it so much.
And I don't know why. I pick it up. I'll play a little bit of God of War, and then I'm like, let me go kill some people.
Yeah.
And it's just one of those things. But that's what I've been playing. That's been most of my game titles all throughout 2024. I play my sports games all day long. NHL, FIFA, MLB The Show. I'm a big sports junkie. And July 16th can't get here soon enough.
I know, bro. Right. They really can't.
Oh man. So that's what I've been playing and a whole lot of nothing else.
I got you. Well, kind of like what me and Bolts were just talking about. I've been playing a lot of bro, it sounds so horrible. Like, I can't get over this, dude.
Ridiculous.
I've been playing a lot of Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, getting back into zombies. Been running zombie mode on there. Also, I've been playing like a ton of different indie titles. My wife, I cannot remember the name of it now, but there's a little indie title that came out recently, and it's like, to further yourself in the game, you have to put the map together like a puzzle. And it starts with a C. I can't remember the name of it, but it was very intriguing. It was all hand-drawn and stuff. But now she's in there playing Cult of the Lamb, and she cannot stop playing it, bro. Like, she's super addicting. Oh, such a good game, bro. She was like, this is your fault. This is your fault. This is the reason why I've been playing it for 5 hours straight, because you got this. You got me addicted to it. I'm like, yeah. So, but yeah, I've been playing that, and I re-downloaded Madden the other day, trying to kind of get myself hyped up. We are set to review in College Football 25 as of this coming week.
Who's reviewing it?
Your boy Caleb.
Oh God!
Shut up, Bulls. I'm very, very excited for it. The return of college football, baby. I cannot wait. It's going to be the most in-depth college football to ever come out. There's actually a gameplay, a deep dive gameplay reveal that is actually coming out tomorrow. So make sure to be on the lookout for that. I'm very excited for it. But outside of that, let's go ahead and get down into these topics at hand. We got some really good stuff to talk about. I do want to give a shout out, of course, to all of our viewers. We got 36 or 39 viewers right now. Also give another shout out to no username. He's been popping up in the chat. He said, "Y'all ever broken something because of rage quitting?" And I'm like, "Yes, of course. Yeah, no question." This is a question more for Baron, but he said, "Who is your main in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate?"
I don't play Smash that much, but it would definitely be Kirby or Link. It's
What about you,
Kirby
Bolts?
That's my boy, fucking Kirby. I'm a Kirby guy all day long. Look, anytime you can take someone's powers and use it against them, yes. But I'm a very big Captain Falco. Or is it Falcon? Captain Falcon?
Can you guess who I would use in the game?
Sonic.
Solid Snake.
Liquid? No.
Liquid. Right.
Solidus?
Like, how dare you?
Big Boss?
Yeah.
So,
actually, like originally, I mained with Mario, bro. I wasn't really big into Super Smash Brothers. We actually, when me and Bolts lived together back in the day, we had a guy that lived with us named Austin, and that's, bro, like the guy was unreal in Super Smash Brothers. I've never seen anybody be able to play that game like that.
And it used Mario is what he did.
Yeah, bro. Wow. Like the dude is crazy, man. I mean, it was nuts. So anyways, moving on in this show. So first and foremost, GTA 5 DLC about Trevor was canceled because of GTA Online's success. It's so crazy to me that this actually even was in creation and then canceled. It says Grand Theft Auto 5 has been out for over a decade, but players never got around to any sort of single-player DLC in its lifespan. In an interview with a YouTuber, former Rockstar developer, talked about how they canceled a Trevor DLC and why it never saw the light of day. It said, "We split our team into two, so I stayed on GTA Online, and then this DLC, which was Stephen Ogg, was very important part of this split, and then some of the team overlapped and went to Red Dead Redemption 2. It says, as far as the content DLC, Rubino says that he believes that a lot of the stuff planned and developed ultimately found its way into GTA Online. He couldn't recall any specifics. The DLC itself was supposed to be featuring Trevor as an undercover agent. Now, I will also say, as you both know, the actor for the game that played Trevor had a really big falling out. Like, he really got sick and tired of always being called Trevor everywhere he was going. So the actors that played Michael and why am I going blank? The other character, the other main character.
Oh my God, you're killing me now.
God, what's wrong with me?
I could
5 main characters:
Michael, Trevor, and
was it? It wasn't Frank. Was
Franklin?
Franklin, yes, yes, Franklin. My God, I was gonna say Lamar, but I was like, no.
That's yeah.
But I want to, bro. Yeah, like now they have some story online for Lamar, but and also Franklin as well. Franklin is, he's come up in the online mode as well. But yes, so the main actor for Trevor had a really big falling out. He really didn't like that everybody, anytime he saw anybody, they were like Trevor. And actually, the actor that played Michael in the game had a really big disagreement with him. Was like, dude, listen, you wouldn't even be here if it wasn't for these Trevor fans. Yeah, like, if it wasn't for your portrayal as Trevor, so why don't you embrace it? And they had a thing of like, acting is not just focusing on one character. It's moving around. And I can understand what he's saying, but at the same time, dude, like Trevor was like the character, bro. Like he was groundbreaking, dude. Like he was such a massive character. But Baron, what do you think about this? Like, I mean, do you think that this would have been a successful offline story DLC?
Well, see, that's the beauty of Grand Theft Auto. Anything you do around it is going to be successful. They could have just released an individual DLC for each character, and it would have did gangbusters.
Yeah, it would have been amazing.
It may not have done GTA Online numbers, which are unreal, but it would have. Okay, so this is this was my first pitch to David to fame over at Level One. This was my first pitch ever to LV1 Gaming, and it was the curse of the golden goose. What happens when you make the perfect game? And that was my pitch. And this is what happens. Why on earth would I divest any resources from GTA Online when it's literally printing money at a country's pace?
Yeah.
We're like, how do I sit in a boardroom and say, hey guys, I think we should do this, and that. Oh, this sounds great, but it's not in GTA Online.
Yeah.
Like, who do you talk to make that pitch? Like,
I mean, you really, honestly, you can't. Like, there's not a way of really saying, hey, so how can I take something that is so great, and make it to where it's just single player. I know we're doing great online.
Yeah.
But,
not just great, we're doing astronomical numbers.
Yeah.
Like and the thing that gets me is 10 years before GTA 5. 10 years. We had everything from sports games, action RPGs. They even produced I think the American version of Oni. They were like the publisher behind that. Like Bully, Red Dead Redemption. Like it is crazy how many games came out before GTA 5 and GTA Online. But then after GTA Online and GTA 5, we've literally had one game. And they didn't even do Undead Nightmare 2, which would have been
so good, bro.
Could you imagine a zombie game in that engine?
Oh, bro. It would have been amazing.
Like, easy layup. And that's how much money GTA Online prints out that they didn't even think to do a Red Dead Undead Nightmare 2. That's how much money GTA Online just prints. And then they let Red Dead Online die. Like, because GTA Online just makes that much money.
And that's what's weird is that they're continuously making more and more content for Red Dead Online. So they're doing all kinds of stuff. Big shout out to my boy Otaku Man 5000, previous special guest on the show. He was on last week's episode, so make sure to check him out. But Bolts, what about you? I mean, I'm sure you got the same thing that we are.
I mean, to an extent, absolutely. But I'm also a guy that every game should reach every consumer.
Yeah.
And the sad part about it, even in this day and age, you have people who can't get to the internet, who don't have online play, and when they go out and buy a $60, $70 game, they want a full investment, 100%. And as big and as vast as GTA 5 was, there was still some more wanting,
Yeah.
And of course, GTA Online gave you that wanting.
Yeah.
But if you're out here in the sticks in the middle of East Texas, surrounded by a bunch of pine trees, and you got to go to your friend's house to download a game because they have internet and you don't, this would have been awesome for them. And it's just, and Caleb, you and I both know that we live in the country. We are born and bred in the country. This is what we do. And
had to say that. He was like born and bred in the country.
No,
just like in Red Dead.
No,
exactly.
It's the truth, though.
It is. And and of course, Elon Musk and stuff like that is really trying to put out their own stuff out there. And I have people who have what I was gonna say Skynet, Starlink. I have friends at UPS who have Starlink, and they say it works awesome. It really
my dad
does.
has Starlink.
So it's just one of those things that this would have been great. I mean, DLC for Trevor, for Franklin, for Michael, and just all got. I mean, they could have browsed off so many stories for the one player and for the non-internet people, which would have just expanded that game even more. But of course, as consumers, as media, as everybody else, we completely understand why they didn't. But for them to reach out to the single player people with no internet, no connection to the outside world, it would have been nice for them. but of course we understand why they didn't. So
Yeah.
that's my whole theory on that. I understand why they didn't. I wish they would have, regardless of the success of what online was.
True.
So
It's very true. Very
very
true statement.
But once again, just like you said, they've only produced one game since then. So that's your one player outside of, it's Red Dead 2 is by far definitely a top 3 game I've ever played in my life.
Oh, yeah, bro.
And so if you didn't play GTA Online, you can play Red Dead 2 all day long and find stuff every single day of every single week for 137 years.
Listen, I've played that game from start to finish so many times since it's come out. And I remember the moment that Bolts called me and was like, all right, dude, I'm sitting down with Red Dead. I'm like, Red Dead 2? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, oh, thank fucking God, man. We can finally talk about it. And about an hour and a half in, he was like, I can't do this, dude. Like, this snow level is crazy. I'm like, listen, get past the snow level. I'm telling you, it will change your life. And then finally, we stopped talking about it for like a week, 2 weeks. And then he got to the end of the game and was like, I don't think I've gotten to the point of being so close to tears, bro. Like, that game was fucking amazing.
I had a tweet that went crazy because I think it was Jez Corden. He was like, hey, what's that one moment that makes you not want to play one of your favorite games again? And I said, I was like, the beginning of Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah,
there should be a skip button. Like, I will never delete any of my saves for that game simply so I don't have to do that beginning again.
It was rough. It was honestly,
it's
know what's
cool
crazy?
The first time. But,
yeah, absolutely.
But I couldn't imagine, even thinking about it is enough for me not to reinstall it. Like,
it kind of reminds me. It kind of reminds me of. It reminds me of, and I don't know if this is what they were going with, but it reminds me of like a introduction of a Tarantino film. Because especially like Hateful Eight, which is a great movie. I don't know if you have seen the director's, like the full director's cut of the Hateful Eight, but if you get a chance, you got to watch it. It's 4.5 hours long, and they separate it into episodic moments, like the way they have it set up now on Netflix. And it's like so much more of an expansive moment. I'm serious. I sat there and watched that shit one day, and I was like, holy fuck. I did not think this movie could get any longer or better, but it did.
See.
But that moment right there really did remind me of that type of aspect of Westerns. But moving on from that, fuck.
We need more money.
Yeah, that's right. Activision games will start to come to Xbox Game Pass this coming August. So in a recent report, according to Extras One, the Tony Hawk 1+2 remake and Spyro Reignited trilogy will also be coming to the subscription service in the near future. Subsequently, in Corden's report, he has also outlined that he is understanding Microsoft's strategy isn't to release all Activision backlog catalog games all at once, but rather drip feed them into the platform. So, Baron, we're going to talk to you first about this. I apologize about my voice again. But it is said that there is a good chunk of games that are going to be coming to Xbox Game Pass, including, oh God, Caleb, wake up.
You got this.
And yeah, my God, Jesus Christ, including Crash Bandicoot as well. So Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy. It says fans have the Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy to look forward to. And then, of course, Call of Duty is coming out this November. But they're saying that more Activision titles are coming to Game Pass this year. So, Baron, what games from the Activision catalog would you like to see on Game Pass? Also, do you think it's a good thing for them to slowly drip these onto the service?
Activision is big enough to where you could shotgun it and just throw it all out there, and you would still hit peak numbers, because you gotta think we're looking at Tony Hawk. you people who playing Tony Hawk may not be into Crash Bandicoot. Like I know for me, I'm looking for Tony Hawk Underground. I'm looking for True Crime. I'm looking for X-Men Legends Prototype. Like how far is this going? Are we getting all the Marvel games? Are we getting is it truly the entire catalog at some point? But I just
Bro, wait a second. You said True Crimes.
yeah.
True Crimes Streets of LA on the Xbox Series X would be so freaking phenomenal. It would be great because me and Bolts just talked about this on one of our last episodes. The Xbox does not get enough love by even Microsoft for the power that this console has of being able to play some of these games. Like I played Blinks the other day and it looked phenomenal. It looked so good. I was like, what the fuck? Why does it look so good? You know why? And so yes. So I downloaded Dante's Inferno and started playing that. And I was like,
that was a badass trailer.
Bro.
I'm a trailer junkie.
Yeah.
I am a trailer junkie.
And they talked about the guy, actually, this one guy that was like one of the lead artists on the game, I think is how it went. He ended up like branching off, of course, after, Visceral was shut down, but he tried to make a movie of it and it's still supposedly in development, but he's released some CGI trailers for it and had the original voice actor voicing Dante and everything. And it was so epic. I was like, oh my God, bro, if they bring this shit to theaters or Prime or something. Oh, be a hit. But yeah. I'm sorry for him.
But it just there's so many Activision games that if they just put them all on there today, like, hey, the numbers would be ridiculous. First off, so many people would go in and buy a lot of these games. Like they would go and pick them up. It wouldn't just be I'm gonna go buy Tony Hawk Underground. I'm going if that popped in the store right now. It was in, and then I got my little sale from being a Game Pass Ultimate member. I'm gonna pay to keep that so I don't ever lose it again because Thug is one of the best Tony Hawk games ever. Like, who would have thought an adventure Tony Hawk game would have
been a success?
Right.
Thug was amazing,
dude. It was amazing.
And then that introduction into music. I'll say this: my taste of music expanded dramatically because of the Tony Hawk series. Bro, 100% got introduced to a lot of music that I would have never listened to.
Not even just the series, but Tony Hawk Underground. The first Underground, the set of music that they had for that game, oh my God, it was so good, bro.
And then the story, bro, even just
the story was
unlocking
great.
Different areas and having to jump
It's the one time I actually enjoyed listening to Bam Margera. It's the only time.
That's what I'm saying. So, but there's so many games under Activision, and they need to stop playing around and figure out a way to include WoW into Game Pass. Same way, because if you could do it with Riot, if you can give me a bonus with Riot, you can give me a free. First off, I've gotten a crap ton, like value-wise, the characters alone. That's what is it, like $10 a character, if I'm not mistaken, for Valorant. I haven't had to pay for any new characters, and I think since it's been part of the Game Pass Ultimate, we've gotten like 4 or 5 characters since it's been a part of it. Yeah, it's $40. Are you kidding me? Like that, and then don't count all the other little extras you get and the boost in XP. So if you can give me all of that, you can give me either a crazy discount or included in my Game Pass Ultimate.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. Ain't no reason why it can't happen.
No reason. None.
So some of the games that I would probably say that I would really want to see from Activision, of course, kind of like what you and me talked about. We actually talked about this while we are at Summer Games Fest, but a console version of WoW needs to happen.
Yeah,
not a question. It would do great numbers for Blizzard. We've already seen this with Diablo. The numbers, sales wise, and just player base in general has just boomed, bro. It's been amazing. But of course, I'm like, I want to see some of the older titles out there. Like, I want to see, Crash Bandicoot and whatever, but I also want to see, which I know it's a whole rigmarole of having to make sure they get the license and all that other stuff. But I want to see some of these Activision Spider-Man games come on Game Pass, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, there'd be a lot of people that would play it. I think it would kind of smoothen that whole like that cut that's real deep on the Xbox side for not getting to play Spider-Man, you know.
Yes.
And I mean, I still to this day 100% believe like now would be the perfect time to bring out Spider-Man on Xbox from PlayStation Studios. Bring out the first one and the second one. And then if you want to have a year and a half of timed exclusive for the third one, cool, great. But bro, it would be so great for not just sales for PlayStation, but it would be great for the Xbox community. It'd be a great way of stretching your hand across the aisle and saying, "Hey, listen, we're here to share our wonderful games and our wonderful experiences." And that's what we need. That's what we need, man. I don't understand why they can't just do that. You know what I'm saying? Like it's nuts to me. So,
and it's really wild because the money would be made. I mean, hell, look at MLB The Show. Like the money would be made.
Yeah,
people would buy it and then come out with a physical edition. I know people like to pretend like physical is dead. It's not. You guys brought up the internet thing. I'm in Southern California, and I know plenty of people who have internet problems.
Yeah, exactly,
I got families who live out in the desert. Like, bro, people until, and I have this talk any chance somebody lets me, until we get to a point where internet is a required utility that CPS comes and checks to make sure you have. I don't think internet only should be the standard. It's too many people in the modern areas of the world who don't have internet.
I 100% agree, bro. And that's like, really the God's honest truth, dude. Like
that's all it is.
In the year 2020, that's when I kind of really started thinking like, especially with COVID and all that stuff, I was like, man, like think about all the people that don't have internet, that like don't have that connection. So now it's like what you said. It is a necessity. It is something that it needs to be set in with utilities, with bills. It is something that every household should have. And I know there's some people. Listen, I know California does have areas of California that are somewhat like Texas.
Oh, it's rural as hell.
Yeah. So like we do have rural areas. Like me and Bolts live in a town of 18,000, and the town that I went to high school in, there's only 1,000 people. The town next to that town, there's only like 360. So there are people in this area that are very anti like connecting online. They don't want, nobody knowing where they're at. There's actually a guy that I know that is very off the grid, like works in the corporate, realm, but is very off grid. Like when he moved to corporate, like he had to get a cell phone, of course, but previously before that, he had one of these, like, it was a phone that was like this big that literally all you could do is like dial, and you could use a very old school method of like map that would connect, and that was it. And I was like, what is that? He was like, oh, it's some type of new phone, that came out by this guy. And it was called Basic or something like that. And that's all it was. And I was thinking, man, this guy's fucking crazy, like, but at the same time, I can understand it, because honestly, how many times during the day do we find ourselves going like this and just scrolling, bro? Like, it's a prison itself. So, but yeah, so I agree with you. And Bolts, we were talking about Activision games, of course. I know you lost connection, but, he was stating that there are people in Southern California in that area that he lives, that live in the desert that don't have that connection. But with you, Bolts, like, is there any specific Activision game that you would like to see come to Game Pass?
So I'm gonna take it as a whole. Activision, Blizzard, all that jazz. Okay. I'm an RTS guy. Bring me some StarCraft.
Yeah.
Bring me some StarCraft,
bro.
Bring me some original Warcraft.
Yeah.
The original Warcraft, the Warcraft 2, Tides of Darkness. Bring me the original RTSs. I'll play the shit out of those all day long.
Cafe days.
Yeah,
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Shadows Die Twice. I'll play that again. A Souls-like game from Activision and Blizzard. Also, I'm really interested to know if and when they ever touch and bring WoW to the console.
We were just talking about that.
So
there needs to be a WoW console version.
How can you not?
It would be so great.
How
can
just
you give
not?
me a free account? I'm a Game Pass Ultimate member since day one.
100%.
So where's my account?
How can they not touch the Souls that is the console world? Because
I don't know.
You're adding another stream of revenue right there. Free game, and you have to buy everything else, just like it is now.
Huge stream of revenue. Man.
So those are kind of what I'm thinking. Give me some StarCraft, some original Warcraft. WoW would be awesome. Shadows Die Twice. That's kind of what I'm looking for. Crash Bandicoot, Spyro. Nah.
Yeah. I'm with you.
Yay. So
they have so many bigger titles. Don't they have a couple Tenchus?
I'm sure there is out there. Absolutely.
But there's so many games.
And don't get me started on Prototype 1 and 2.
That's literally what I said. Come on. Come on. You have so much easy just gold laying
Listen,
around.
Prototype 2 was good. Okay,
but
I mean, we
another good trailer. Another great trailer.
Yeah. It was a good game, but Prototype 1 was fucking where was that, dude? Oh my God. They were just off of that studio as well. They were just off of making the Incredible Hulk game. Yep. So if y'all remember that's where they got the idea, the gameplay style and everything for Prototype came from Incredible Hulk.
Mercer.
So, yeah, bro. But there's a ton. And Microsoft, people talk all the shit that they want to. I've seen some people really railing Microsoft recently. I don't understand, honestly, why. I know that everyone is upset about the jobs, dude. I understand. I really do. It sucks when people lose their job. I've been one of those people in the last few years. But, dude, chill the fuck out and understand that it's not I really don't think that Sarah Bond and Phil Spencer are sitting up in this fucking room laughing with sharp fucking teeth and going, how are we going to fuck these people over? No, what it is they took on a $1 billion company. They took on a $1 billion company with tons of assets, and they have to make really fucked up decisions. And Phil even said that, while we were at Summer Games Fest, when I was talking to him at the Xbox party, shook his hand, sat there, talked to him for about 20 minutes. And literally the words out of his mouth is, listen, there's a lot of times that in this business, decisions have to be made. And I kind of cut him off. I was like, listen, dude, I'm going to tell you right now, as somebody that was essentially originally a big PlayStation fan, the way you are and the way that Xbox has really driven their fan base over the last couple of years, you've given me the hope that Xbox is about the games, is about the fans, is about making great experiences for everybody. So, you don't have to say that to me, man. I know, I understand those. I said a lot of the people at the Tango studio were close friends of mine. I knew some of the people that worked there. But at the same exact time, it sucks. It does. But with an acquisition like this, you can't not make cuts. You can't. And if there's nothing planned for those studios, even if, hey, there's this. Yeah, they could have been working on a Ghostwire Tokyo 2. But at the same time, if it's not lined up in the schedule that Xbox has, if there's no way of them working it in and then paying for it, it's a decision that has to be made, and it does suck, but it is a decision that had to be made. So, I don't know that there could have been more to it, but I think personally, from what Sarah Bond and Phil Spencer said while at Summer Games Fest, I think, especially after Summer Games Fest, I think even what Phil Spencer said during his interview at IGN Live, I think he really pointed out some really good things. A lot of people try to say he was dancing around the question, but I don't think he was. I think he kind of pointed things out. What about you, Baron?
I honestly, I think when they finally really dipped into Daddy Microsoft's money to make the acquisition, it now that buffer and that filter, you went from a cool project that brings in money to now you're a major arm, and now we're going to manage you like we manage everything else.
That's it.
And because I knew there was going to be an issue when you started seeing Satya talking on behalf of Xbox. When you started seeing Satya talking on behalf of Xbox, when I'm seeing CNN and financial this and financial that and all these big psych news places and whatevers, and I'm seeing nobody from Xbox but Satya, I knew. I was like, oh, the buffer is gone. Yeah. And then you see Phil age like 10 years in a year. Like, I don't know him.
True,
I don't know him, but I will say that I truly believe he is the buffer to keep Xbox from going full Windows. Because what a lot of people keep missing out on, the parent company of Xbox is notorious and known for having their software everywhere you can access it. Anywhere with a screen, you're getting Microsoft products. So to think that wouldn't happen with their games is kind of crazy. I mean, but that's kind of spinning off the topic. But
you really think about it though, and like since that acquisition, we have seen Xbox kind of move into that mindset of like, we're gonna have Xbox everywhere. So like I talked about this at Summer Games Fest whenever I was talking to the Samsung guys over there, like looking at the Xbox app that comes on Samsung televisions now. I'm like, holy crap, this is crazy. And then while I'm flying back, get a news update. Activision announces that Xbox Game Pass is coming to Amazon Fire Sticks. Fire TV. I'm like, holy crap, bro. Like Amazon already had their stuff worked out with their Luna stuff. Mm-hmm. So now Amazon could say, hey, if you go and buy, like, for instance, when I got back, I had to buy a updated Fire Stick for my kids. It's 4K. That is on sale for $19. Okay.
Yeah, buddy.
So think about this, bro. If you have good enough internet, you can get a Fire Stick, an Xbox controller, and then play from your Fire Stick. I mean, that's wild to me.
Yeah.
Please stop looking like you're dead. I don't know if you're frozen. Jesus Christ. I was like, is his screen frozen right now? But I mean, that's what they want. They want Xbox everywhere. And Boltz actually, I'm going to say this for Boltz, was one of the biggest advocates for a digital Xbox way back in the day. When the Xbox One first came out, they talked about, there was rumors of an Xbox digital coming out and months afterwards. We were working at GameStop at the time, and Boltz had talked about how, I don't understand why they didn't come out with it. They should have just said, hey, it's coming out. This is a version of the Xbox One. But then at the time, of course, I was like, bro, nobody's going to fucking buy that shit, bro. Nobody's going to buy that shit.
Bro, listen, when they first announced Project Scorpion, and then they slowly detailed about a discless Xbox, I was like, that's the way it needs to go. And when they released it, and of course it still had a disc hard drive, because they got a lot of backlash when they started talking about, hey, we're going to have a discless, everything's going to be digital, this, and this. And of course everybody was like, oh, you're fucking serious? We can't play disc games? We can't play our DVDs and our Blu-rays and blah, 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 blah. And of course then Xbox finally was like, okay, here you go. Here's your disc drive. But at that point, they should have just rolled with it, because whenever they started releasing, the digital consoles and stuff like that, it would have just eased everything in for the new gaming world. Just slowly ease it in, because they would have been the first people to do it, and then Sony would have followed suit. Yeah. Nintendo Nintendo's going to do what they're going to do and still rock the freaking world. So who cares about what they do, you know? So yeah, at that point in time, they should have definitely just continued with it. So
I agree. So we're gonna go ahead and move into our next segment. We'll kind of keep this short and sweet. We're gonna start with bolts on this one. Are video game shows and movies really needed? So in recent news, the Horizon Zero Dawn Netflix series has been canceled at this point in time. It's been shelved. The Metal Gear Solid movie is still alive. Through some aspects, the producer is saying that we are working on a script and more, but I can't talk about it as of yet. And there's been a lot of other movies that have been planned in the past that have been canceled, like the Sly Cooper movie, the follow-up to the Assassin's Creed film, God of War, the movie, which is now supposedly in works at Amazon, a BioShock film that was set to be coming out, a Tomb Raider 2 follow-up film, and actually even a movie based on Call of Duty. And that was canceled as well.
Black Hawk Down.
Thank you. I was just about to say Black Hawk Down.
Yeah.
Behind enemy lines, enemy at the gate.
We've seen
come on, just pick one.
My God, that's so true, bro.
Those are all Call of Duty.
So both, I mean, with the success, and let's say what it actually is, with the mega success of the Fallout series, what do you think about video game shows and movies right now? I mean, are they really needed?
This is my theory. Yes, I believe they are. Because in all reality, you can only make so many video games at a time, just like the Fallout series finally did what they were supposed to do and finally hit it on the nose. They took the series, the Fallout world, and went over here with it instead of staying in this line.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, no video game should ever be a movie. You can't tell 180 hours of a video game world in 3.5 or in 2.5 hours. You can't do it. For instance, the Assassin's Creed movie.
Yeah, bro.
It is.
We were so disappointed.
We were, but don't waste your time. But it's one of those things that you go into and you're just like, how can they make this work? Because I went with low expectations because I'm a biggest movie buff you ever meet. And I go in low expectations, and of course it didn't hit because you're trying to take this big ass world who is just expanded over 15, 20 games that takes anywhere from the first Assassin's Creed like 20 hours to, like I said, Odyssey 180 hours. How can you tell a story of that vastness in this little time? You just can't. Possible. And it's the same thing with Warcraft. When Warcraft came out,
oh man,
it was
God, that was so bad.
The movie itself was just terrible. There were aspects of an Assassin's Creed movie that were okay. The Warcraft movie was just bleh.
Yeah.
And once again, I mean, you have Warcraft 2, you have all these RTS storylines, you have WoW, you have all the expansion packs from WoW. How do you expect to fit all that into this? And you just can't.
You can't.
Fallout did it right. They took the Fallout universe, took a totally separate storyline, and ran with it with 8-10 episodes like you're supposed to. Because in 8 and 10 episodes, they're going to be about an hour long, but at least you got 10 hours worth of story, worth of something that you can explain along the way. The same thing with the BioShock. BioShock I could possibly see work as a movie because it is a one player game. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
BioShock could work. God of War, possibly not. Because once again, you have how many games on the PS2, PS3, PS4 to the PS5, even the PlayStation portables. You just can't something like that. So when it comes to movies, I would definitely still clear of them. And if you do them, they've got to be a series, 10 to 15 episodes to really expand on the universe that you're trying to tell. And that's the way it needs to be.
What about you, Baron? I mean, you think Bolts hit the nail on the head with that?
Yeah, I'm all for it, especially when you do within the universe. Like what made Fallout so great to the point to where I forgot even installed Fallout Shelter, reinstalled it and started playing it again. That's how good that damn show was.
Yeah.
What made it so perfect was they respected people who played the game, like, but they didn't tell you, hey, like they didn't explain the Pit-Boy. I don't know if y'all caught on to that. They didn't explain it at all, and that was perfect. And they had notes and hints and things like the health bar next to the body parts. They had stuff there for people who played the game.
Yeah.
But for those who didn't, it was just a thing that people in the vault used. Like, and that's more than fine. And that's okay. Like, they didn't explain every little thing. And then I seen people were pissed about the whole ghoul thing, the drugs. I was like, well, then how in a short amount of time are you supposed to explain the difference between feral ghouls and regular ghouls?
Yeah,
other than, hey, they need this drug to be normal. Like, that was perfect. I was like, that's actually a pretty cool,
because
like breakdown.
Yeah, like, you know, of course in the series, you know, there's no aspect.
There's no explanation.
You know?
It's just
you're just like some. Yeah, exactly. Bro, 100%. There's some ghouls that are feral and there's some that aren't.
Yeah,
you know? But this was, if anything, this was Todd and the team being like, how though? Like, we've never really thought about this, but how is a ghoul not becoming feral? You know, and having that moment with Walter Goggins when he opens up that chest and finds all those drugs, he was like, "Oh hell yeah!" You know, he's just sitting there like,
perfect, it was freaking perfect. And then, but what I'd love, like, okay, for Halo, for example, I would have avoided Master Chief at all costs. I haven't watched the show. I would have easily did ODST. I would have easily did Reach. Reach would have been a great TV show.
Dude,
Reach would have been an amazing TV show.
It would have been amazing also because the you know, with Reach, they weren't you know, they weren't the big man himself.
Yeah.
You know, they were of course, you know, they had their enhancements. But they were closer to more like special ops kind of soldiers, you know, and that would have been a great story to tell. I'm glad that some people have found some type of enjoyment out of the Halo series, but I fucking hate it. I've watched both seasons so far, and I just, dude, like, Matt, he does not take his helmet off. Like, I know this is super fanboy, but like, he don't fucking take his helmet off. I don't care what universe it is. This is the OG. We hear his voice. He's the most powerful soldier in the entire military in this universe. He doesn't take his helmet off because he is never individual. He's never thought of himself as an individual. Bro, like, he's never thought of himself as an individual. He doesn't think of himself as John or whatever, you know, like whatever they call him. Like, he is Master Chief. That's who he is, you know? So his goal has always been to think of others first before himself. And whenever he takes his helmet off, he brings himself into this humanized realm of things. And I just, dude, like,
100%
the wrong way.
And as much as we dislike it, they were trying to, as I was watching the series itself, they were definitely trying to make the show relatable to people who have never seen the game or played the game, excuse me. So as much as we don't like it, and of course I don't think he should have took his helmet off too, they had to find some way to relate Master Chief other than just a helmet and a voice.
Of course.
Because we recognize the helmet and the voice, and we're like, oh, you know, that's who we are. But as a world that's on, who's probably never played it, and especially this day and age, because, you know, the last Halo was before Halo Infinite was Halo 5. What, Guardians is what it was?
Yeah.
I mean, come on, bro. There's a time frame that people were born and don't know Halo, so they had to find some way to relate it as big as it was, and that's what they did. As much as we didn't like it, I understand why they did it. I wish they didn't do it, but they had to do it some way.
But they did it. Moving on from that topic, Konami's Metal Gear producer would love to work with Hideo Kojima yet again. So this is a really big thing, bro. Like, huge. The producer of Metal Gear, Okamura, admitted that he's not in the position to answer on behalf of anyone outside of the company, but would personally like nothing better than to work with Mr. Kojima again and the rest of the team. He said if it could happen, it would be a dream. But with that said, a lot of people don't realize this, but recently, about 3 weeks ago, there was a deep dive video that was released with David Hayter. It was part 2 of the legacy videos. Sorry. That went into the deep dive of this. And I mean, look at this shit, bro. Like, what? Like, oh my God, bro.
Yeah.
I've been freaking out about this since I got back from the trip. And like, they're talking about individualistic aspects of this game that are just going to be unbelievable. Like your cuts, your bruises, your shots. It will literally, they're not just something that will heal after you use your medic packs. It'll actually be scars on your body. You'll actually see the war-torn Solid Snake. The enhancement aspect of the game as well. They're going to have a legacy mode with the camera, and they're also going to have a new mode. And the new mode gives you the option of playing the game in over the shoulder third person aspect. So it brings you into the newer version of Metal Gear to where it's not this kind of top down aspect that they had in the previous, but if you want to, you can easily switch back and forth. So new facial animations, new graphical animations. They're saying that this game is going to not just breathe new life into this game. It's going to feel like, even for players of the previous titles, feel like a completely new aspect that we've never seen before. So with that news, of course, with the fact that the producer wants to work with Kojima-san again, and also with this amazing news, Baron, we're going to start with you. How fucking crazy.
Send me back. Outer Haven. Let's go. No, but look, it's okay. So I'm a big Metal Gear Solid fan.
Yeah, both of you guys are.
Yeah, like I mean Foxhound all the way.
Right.
Like I'm ready. I'm ready to see these crazy bosses. I'm ready to fight the end. I'm ready. Like I'm ready. And
I gotcha.
I'm excited. Okay. Wouldn't that be dope but the way they ended was horrible, man. Wasn't there even like between Kojima and Konami, wasn't there even like hidden things in there in the game, like FU, not like there was like,
well, supposedly, okay, so what happened is in the whole Konami drama of things. So what happened is it got to the point that the project was very expensive. And Kojima wanted to continue because he was like, the game is not finished. And they were like, hey, sorry, dude, listen, we've already delayed the game. It's got to be finished. You gotta wrap it up, you know? And there was some other stuff as well. I don't feel like Konami really treated the situation the best with as long as Kojima had worked for them. But as you can tell, a lot of the same team members are still working there. The producer that you can see on the screen right now, he's been at Konami for 30 years. So he worked on Metal Gear Solid Portable Ops. He worked on the digital graphic novel. A lot of the people that are actually working on this remake worked on the original. But there are other team members that are not part of Konami anymore, of course, and they've gone off and done their own things. But I got to agree with you. Metal Gear Solid 5, for me, was a very big disappointment. The gameplay and graphics, of course, were great, and it told a story that we haven't really seen before of one of the fill-ins for Big Boss. But with that being said, it was not I don't feel like it was the tier that we had been kind of raised up to with Metal Gear Solid 1, 2, 3, Portable Ops, and even I think one of the Dark Shadows, for some reason, one of the best games in the series, Metal Gear Rising Revengeance. Rising Revengeance was such a good game. It told a story that continued the style of Metal Gear that we had come to love, with a new style of gameplay, of course, with way more fast-paced gameplay and so on and so forth. So these fucking ads, bro. Like, they're killing me. You know. But anyways, with that being said, you know, not to, you know, I hope I didn't take over your kind of moment of talking. But it is a very big deal that this game is coming out, because some really big stuff could happen from this. If this game releases and it is a really big success, sales wise for Konami, we could see a reinstallment of Metal Gear Solid from this point on. We could see either there's two things that can happen: either new Metal Gear Solid stories, or we could finally get what I have been begging for years. Today marks the 37th anniversary of Metal Gear. Okay. So Metal Gear, the original, came out in Japan on this day 37 years ago. So think, Metal Gear was the first mission for Solid Snake. Okay. It's the first time that he was contracted to go and take down Big Boss. So if we had the amazing opportunity of being able to play Metal Gear completely retold like it's never been before, voiced over by David Hayter.
And you're talking about Metal Gear that was on the NES, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Lighters and flamethrower.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. I think that could be really huge for the series. I really do. I think we could see something, a reinstallment, because you got Metal Gear, and then you have Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake, of course, after that. But then that could even push from that point, getting an actual remaster in this type of engine of Metal Gear Solid 1 for the PlayStation. So I think this could be really big. And I think having the producer actually come out and pretty much announce that they're giving kudos to Kojima is a really big deal. Especially after all these years, since this whole shit went down. You know, it was a really sad way that it happened. But the fact that he's a mega producer, you know, he's been there for 30 years. So he couldn't have gone on here before and just been like, oh, I'm just off the whim, I'm going to say thanks to Kojima. No, bro, like some big heavy hitters at Konami were like, we got to give props to Mr. Kojima-san for everything he's done for the series. And of course, you know, Kojima has, a big thing with Death Stranding 2 coming out. But this game changed a lot of gamers out there. Metal Gear Solid 1 and 2 and Twin Snakes and all that was fun. But Metal Gear Solid 3 pushed the envelope on storytelling, on cinematic, on the kind of the merger of the cinematic aspect of gaming. It really told stories that kind of pushed the envelope too. Talked about, you know, the nuclear war and the secrets of these wars back in the day. And soldiers. And a lot of people, dude, a lot of people still to this day think, oh, you know, these secret agents and all this other stuff, that was all fake. Like, no, this shit was real, dude. Like, there was a lot of aspects. And that's what I've always enjoyed about Kojima-san's storytelling, is he tells things that a lot of people think are fiction, you know, and they're not. I mean, of course, you know, in Death Stranding, I mean, we don't see, you know, giant, you know, octopus and fucking flying around ghosts and shit. But in these type of games, he did talk about a lot of things. That's the one thing I did respect about Metal Gear Solid 5, is that he talked about like child soldiers, talked about child enslavement, really pushed the envelope on that as well. But Baron, did you have anything else that you needed to say about this?
It would be a beautiful thing if it happened. Oh my God. Like that, come on, man. So, who don't want to fight with the Lele Lalo Loop? Like,
bro.
Like who with the great ocelot and
yeah.
No.
Yeah. Bro. Now, I mean, I think some of the stuff from the original Metal Gear Solid 3 is going to be calmed down. But if you don't remember, like, there was some weird shit in the original one. Like, when he meets up with old girl, you know, Mama, and he's like, it gives you that option to push R1. You push it, and he's just, like, staring at her chest. Like,
Yeah.
there's no. I'm like,
The
what the
hell?
fuck is happening?
And I wonder, right? Like, do you? Because you got to think a lot of this stuff was considered tinfoil hat, extreme, progressive craziness. When it actually, like you said, it really wasn't.
It really wasn't.
And
It really
so,
wasn't. Like, he did his research.
Yeah, but now it kind of fits, in the political
The shit that's
landscape.
going on now,
So
Yeah.
it makes you wonder, how are they going to actually tone it back? Like, are they going
No,
to give us
I would-
the full story, or are they going to try to fit? Because I'm looking forward
This is
to
what
the
I got to
headlines.
say to that. Okay,
I'm looking forward
man.
to the SEO headlines now.
This is what I got to say to
Yeah.
anyone scaling back Metal Gear Solid lore.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Wait, do you got the PS4?
I do not have the PS4. No.
Oh, I was
but
going to be so.
hey, listen, there was a guy in Dallas recently that posted it on Facebook Marketplace for $350.
I might have given it to him.
I was like,
I
wait
might
a
have
second.
got it.
But
Yeah.
you know what? I don't trust Facebook Marketplace all the time. I'm like, this is some guy that's not even in Dallas. But no, I agree. I think as we can see right here on the screen, like, it looks fucking amazing.
Oh,
And Bolts is not a big Metal Gear Solid player, but I mean, Bolts, with having this new aspect of the gameplay too, like
listen, wow. Metal Gear was when it was, was not my thing. I was more of a RTS JRPG type player. Final Fantasy, those were my Star Oceans. That's what I played, and of course my sports game. I played the Metal Gear Solid that was on PS1, which was freaking phenomenal. It was great. Played Sons of Liberty, and I think that's where I stopped. And then my gaming universe opened up a little bit more there, because I played a lot of war games. I thought Medal of Honor, Call of Duty, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, and that's when I really started getting into Final Fantasy X, Star Ocean, all the stuff that's coming out. So, Rogue Galaxy, all that jazz. So, but no, this will be one of those games that you, regardless if you know the story, if you've never played it, that you need to play it. Because it's just going to be a game that you need to play, regardless of your gaming background. And if you've played them or not, or if you know the history, you have to play this game, just because you have to play this game.
You got to play it, bro. It's going to be one of those games that, like, you really do have to play this game because of the visual aspects, because of the love that they put back into it. Go ahead, Baron.
Do you think this is going to have an Elden Ring effect, where all of a sudden it's going to be impossible to get a physical copy of?
Listen, it's already happened. You can't. There's nowhere out there that you can get the collector's edition. I've already tried. I've tried a million times. I've looked over and over and over again trying to find the collector's edition, because it's
sold out quick on
it's
Best
Naked
Buy.
Snake standing under his bag. I was like, oh my God, I gotta have that. But it sold out fast. But I don't know. I don't think so. I think Elden Ring is different, because Elden Ring is bro. Listen. Elden Ring is different, bro. Like,
no, let me rephrase. Not that it's gonna be as popular as that, but it's gonna push people to go and play the older Metal Gear games.
Oh, yeah.
Like, people are gonna be like, "Oh, I need to experience the full story."
I would probably say I would actually have agreed with you if they wouldn't have brought out the Legacy Collection. The Legacy Collection's all digital and stuff now, so but I don't know. I really don't know, honestly, because it's kind of hit or miss. Metal Gear Solid really hasn't been a topic of a big topic for a while, especially since Kojima left Konami. So I don't know, man. I don't know. That's a really good question. Guys, y'all let me know what you think about that. Do you think that it's going to be hard to pick up a physical copy of the game? Do you think it's going to be easy to pick it up? Do you think that it's going to have that Elden Ring effect, where a lot of people go back in and start playing the older versions of this game? So speaking of older versions of games that we just loved, we fucking loved it, and they baited us a million times, and now we're getting baited again. BioShock 4 getting encouraging update. So BioShock 4 It says right here, Jeff Spoonhauer. I don't know how to say his name. Senior creative design, cinematic designer at 2K, 2K Chamber, and he has, it says BioShock. Says the BioShock team at 2K Cloud Chamber is ramping up. We have many positions open across a variety of disciplines. Excuse me, including art, animation, engineering, design, narrative, and productions. We're working on a really awesome project, and our studio is remote friendly. So, with that being said, a couple of years ago, it was leaked out that a new BioShock game was in the works, and it was called BioShock Isolation. And it was supposed to be the leak was provided, and it was supposed to be a new realm in the BioShock universe, and it was somewhat opposite, of course, of Rapture and Columbia, and this was a domed city in the middle of frozen nowhere. So, with that being said, Bolts, you being the BioShock fan that you are you excited for more BioShock news?
Yes and no. It's been dead for so long. It's kind of and I'm just to throw a name in there that I have. You all right there, bud?
Shut the fuck up, bro. Like, Bolts, you're such a bitch, man. Like, I hate your guts. I swear to God.
Good
He's
God.
all trying to cough incognito.
Yeah, I'm like, I tried to mute my mic and I missed it. And I was like,
oh man!
Holy shit, bro! Over here dying.
Take another hit.
Just a podcast, okay?
Take another hit, bud. So
I hate you.
No, the world of BioShock has been dead for quite some time. And BioShock Infinite was good, but not in my eyes as memorable as exactly. Not as memorable as the first one. The first BioShock was just so good on so many levels.
Dude.
And it's, to me, that world of BioShock is going to be hard to revive. Just because the last game in the series was not as memorable. It is what it is. Infinite was good.
Bold statement.
Yeah, and it's one of those games, and I'll tell you, and I'll put it on the lines of, there's a game that's always mentioned every single year that needs to be brought back, and we're waiting for it, and it never will for whatever reason, and it's Half-Life. Okay?
Yeah.
That world has been dead for so long, it would be almost impossible just to revive it. And I know everybody's like, oh no, I would play it, I would do this, I would, yes, our generation would, but no one younger than us gives a fucking shit about it.
Yeah.
So, and BioShock first one was such a success. The second one was decent. The third one was okay.
Hey,
what?
Bro, you and me are gonna fucking fight, like, for real.
I'll fucking deal with it. Listen,
bro. BioShock 2 was honestly a total letdown. BioShock Infinite was a fucking great masterpiece of a game, bro.
Yeah, compared to the second one, absolutely, but it doesn't even remotely stand ground to the first one.
It felt rushed.
100%.
Yeah, it did feel rushed.
It felt rushed. Like, I remember getting all my... Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're good, brother. You're good. I was almost finished anyways. But without that memorable third game in the series to revive it for another world, to another whatever, it'll be like, okay.
Yeah, what else? Yeah.
Let's see what... I mean, it's not one of those things like, yes, fucking back to Rapture or fucking Andrew, all that. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't have that feeling. BioShock 4 would just be another game in the series 15 years down the road, whatever.
I think what would be great, though, this is just me, this is something I've thought about since day one, is if they had a BioShock game that was set as a prequel, when Andrew Ryan actually went down, was in Rapture, was setting up Rapture, and it was like the E-Day event, of like when everyone did start going fucking crazy,
The
and
slow
kind of
decay.
seeing it from his perspective of things. But we also have to remember too, and this is no shots to 2K. I think it could possibly be a really good game, but we got to remember Ghost Story, who was previously known as Irrational Games, is coming out with a game called Judas. And Judas is a first-person narrative title that is supposed to be the Kevin Levine's like spiritual successor to the BioShock series. And from what we've seen from the trailers and the screenshots, BioShock's got some work to put in if they really want to be, top dog again. So, but Baron, I mean, BioShock 4, I mean, what do you think? I mean, you think that it could be a success?
I think the biggest way BioShock could win is to not necessarily drop its ties to the other BioShocks, but go more horror.
Yeah.
Push horror. Like, make it scary. Like, if they go that route and drop it during a Halloween, or if it's gonna be in Alaska or Antarctica, push it, like, do a Christmas thing, but make it very dark. Like that, I feel like that'd be the easiest way to almost reboot the story. Because if, in my opinion, BioShock 1 was scarier than all the other ones.
Hands down.
And even the first time you meet the Big Daddy and like that stuff was terrifying. And that's how you need to, like, and with Judas, sad but true, what Judas looks like. Because I remember watching the trailer and I remember it being scary.
Yeah,
like,
it looked wild, bro. Yeah.
And that's what you got to push. You have to. Because if you Columbia, BioShock Infinite was great in how it looked in the presentation, but it just felt rushed. It felt like I got all my abilities super fast. It felt like it was just like, okay, and now you're done. And I'm like, no, like it just, like, string me along, lie to me, but
yeah. I mean, no. I can understand what y'all are saying in that perspective. I'm a different type of gamer. Like, when I remember when I played BioShock Infinite, like, I took my time with that game, bro. Like, I was looking for every little bitty secret. I was looking for, everything.
Have you met me?
Of course, I've met you, Bolts. We've known
Borderlands
each other for
2
way
is
too
my top
long.
2 game of all time, bro.
Yes, but what I'm getting at is, like, me particularly, I also experienced it with my wife. So, like, we're sitting there, like, playing the game, and as the shit's going on, I'm like, man, this is crazy. There were times, yes, that I was like, for instance, when the DLC came out, and the DLC was very confusing. I'll say that, to say the least. I know it was in a different universe or whatever, but there was some shit that happened in the DLC to where, like, you got your frozen power and you got something else, and it was set up in this certain, like, area of Rapture, and I was like, what the fuck is this, bro? Like, this is very confusing. Like, why is this happening here if this took place in a completely different time frame? So it was really confusing. But what I liked about Infinite is how they wrapped up the game to where they were like, listen, all this shit is happening. When you find out that Booker is basically fucking Andrew Ryan, and he's like, the guy that you played with in the original, that was the connection of the first one. When you did find out in BioShock 1 that you're not just some random fucking guy, bro. Like, you're a clone. You are the guy. So I think BioShock 4 could have good success if it tries something new. And also if it does what Baron had said and kind of what Bolton said, going back to the roots of things, bringing back that horror. And I think that's where games like Judas could possibly be a success, is because it does focus in on new shit. It focuses in on, like, horror. It focuses in on fast-paced gameplay from what we've seen, and crazy shit. Kevin Levine is a genius, bro. He really is. I don't think a lot of people give him credit for what he did with the BioShock series. That game, of course we do, but that game changed fucking gaming. I mean, if y'all don't remember, it was an exclusive for Xbox, and it was huge. Like it was a console selling game. Like it made me go and buy a 360, because of that game. So, I think it could be a big success if they do it right. If they do it the right way, then it could be something big. So moving on from that, I hope I didn't cut anybody off. But moving on from that, we're gonna move into our last topic. And we're gonna, of course, start with Bolts on this because his list is like fucking 2 things.
Hey, eat shit, bro.
Best games of 2024 so far.
Oh my god, bro! I don't even.
What did I say? What did I say, bro? What did I say? Bolts is like, I don't know. I played My Pretty Pony's Pinkie Pie Party.
Pretty much, dude. Listen, I don't even have a list of what came out this year. Look, I don't.
Okay, just think about the games even if they're games that didn't come out in 2024, with you, we'll have a special set of rules. Okay. What games have you played in 2024 that you were just like, man, that really made my year in gaming so far?
Oh shit, dude.
Ghost of Tsushima, you fucking come on, bro.
Did that come out in 24 or did that come out later?
But
that came out like 22.
Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. Let me do this. Games that I purchased and have not yet finished because I lost interest. Let's see. Did Callisto Protocol come out this year?
Nope.
Nope. See, I'm telling you, bro. Baldur's Gate.
Baldur's Gate.
I bought it. What'd you say?
That was last year.
Was it?
Wait, wasn't Baldur's Gate? Yeah.
Gate. Well, see, we're only halfway through 24, bro. Come on, dog. See, you're killing me, Smalls.
I just watched Sandlot.
No, you're fine, dude. You're fine.
No, when did Baldur's Gate come out on Xbox?
Oh, was that?
No, that was this year.
That was this year.
Yeah, that was this year.
Yeah.
But anyways, games that I have played recently that I didn't get a chance to play because once again, I didn't have a PlayStation.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like Ghost. Ghost was amazing. That's what I really have sunk my teeth into. And I've tried to go back to Diablo 4, and I can't dive into it like I used to. And I don't know if it's because I'm so starstruck what Diablo 2 was back in the day. It's just one of those things,
Yeah.
I tried to get into Baldur's Gate when it officially came to Xbox. I mean, I purchased the damn thing, and I just something about it that I just can't get into. Prince of Persia, the newest one that came out in 23, that was garbage.
What?
I didn't like it, dude. And I love my side scrolling rogue type games. I love it where you die and you got to start over. I play Dead Cell like it's a religion,
Yeah.
So it's something about the mechanics, the gameplay, the controls I didn't like, and I couldn't grasp my hand around it.
Wow.
So there was some here and there, but I mean, I even back from 23 to now, a few things have stuck out that I've played, and it's Ghost, and it's really only been Ghost.
Yeah.
So
that's understandable, though. What about you, Baron?
Woo! So Helldivers 2. I hate that game came out the beginning of the year because it's going to get washed for Game of the Year, even though it has all the potential in the world.
Yeah.
It was refreshing. It hit the multiplayer, just pick up and get out there and act silly. The content that was created around it, like they had a whole Real Housewives of Helldivers. Like,
yeah, they had all kinds of shit, bro.
Its only sin was coming out in the beginning of the year. Yeah. But if I had to pick Game of the Year, that would be it. But then, of course, Dragon's Dogma 2.
That was another one that I purchased, and I don't know.
Grab you.
I don't know.
A lot of people, and don't worry, because even a lot of hardcore fans are talking about, I'm waiting for Dragon's Dogma 2 Dark Arisen 2.
Yeah.
Like when that big update comes out to really flesh it together, and then they stop being weird about the port crystals, and like there's a lot there. It's definitely not made for the modern gamer who has kids and like has things to do like outside of gaming. But look, I love
anyway,
Unicorn Overlord. It feels like the Everybody's Ogre Battle 64. I do feel like they definitely made it a little like friendlier than previous games like that in that genre of strategy games. It's a lot friendlier, but it definitely, there's a lot of things that respect people's time in terms of being a busy gamer. That was my big positive for that one, was like, hey, if you're busy but you're looking for a strategy RPG with all the fixings, whether it's like changing the style of attack based on where you place your soldiers, like it's all there for you if you want to go that deep into it. Unicorn Overlord is there, but I just felt like the decision making wasn't punishing enough. Like I felt like you could have went through and picked A for every option and you would have had the same outcome. If you like it didn't feel like your choices really mattered until the very end of the game. And Fallout 76 only because that's the freshest thing I felt like that was released since the Fallout TV show. And
I'm
when
shocked.
I say released, I
I'm
mean
shocked
update.
to not hear you say Pal World.
Well, I did play a lot of Pal World. And I was one of the people who believed Pal World was fake until it released.
Yeah.
Like I really didn't. I was like, there's no way this game is real. There's no way they're gonna let us cook pals that look like Pokemon on a grill and then enslave them. Like, there's no way. And it happened. Yeah. Pal World definitely it was more than a flash in the pan. But I've been hooked on this little demo called Mirthwood. Yeah. The game's not officially out yet, but for those who don't know, just imagine Fable NPC interactions with Elder Scrolls style adventuring, but over a pop-up book cozy art style. Like that.
I like that description.
That is Mirthwood. That is 100% Mirthwood. And I'm saying all of this hoping that they send me like a special care package. I'm definitely shelling out for this game. Mirthwood, nice. I'm ready. Bad Rich Games, I'm ready.
I'm clipping that.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. They know. I ran into some of the PR people. They were like, "Oh, we know." I was like, "It's Mirthin time." Like I think I have. Do I have a pin? But whatever. But yeah. So that game. The demo is out. You get to play. I think it's still available. You get to play like 5 days of in-game of the game, and you could go any route you want. If you want to go adventure, you go adventure. If you want to stay at home and craft, you could stay at home and craft. If you want to brew beer and like go and romance the town pastor, whatever, like you can go do these
what
things.
you want.
You can do what you want within the 5 days. But yeah, so those are it. Helldivers 2, Dragon's Dogma 2, Mirthwood demo, Fallout 76 updates, and Unicorn Overlord.
Okay. I would probably say mine. They're a little different. There's a few that I want to call out. First off, Bolts.
What?
Weren't you a big fan of Hades?
Yes, I was.
Why didn't you play Hades 2? It came out in May.
Because I didn't buy it.
You fucking bitch.
I'm just saying.
Anyways, Helldivers 2, first off, great game, great community, one of the super fun, dude. And I can't wait to actually be able to sit down and play with Bolts. We got to set up a time for that. But it is such a fun, crazy game. It's honestly just one of those games that kind of honestly really reminds me of old school kind of Call of Duty, of just like jumping in with randoms and just playing and just having a blast and just relaxing while gaming. You know, there's a lot of times that some of these games come out and there's so much shit going on with them that it just stresses you out. But even the times that I was getting my legs ripped from my body, I was like, this game is what it's about, bro. This is where it's at. So moving on from that, Dragon's Dogma 2. Got the opportunity of reviewing that game, and I put a shit ton of time in that game. In my review, I said it is a beautiful RPG that proves that Capcom cannot be stopped. It is. I actually did it in a retrospective piece recently of stating if Elden Ring's newest DLC is too tough for you, if it's too hard, play Dragon's Dogma 2. Because there are challenges with Dragon's Dogma 2. Facing off against some of these larger scale enemies is crazy, bro. But it does not. It's not as killer as Elden Ring, which I would love to play Elden Ring. I really would. I would love to play every single Dark Souls game. I've tried, and I suck. I'm so bad at them. I can't even explain it. I'm so bad at them.
Can I interrupt real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
I wish that FromSoft from this point forward had a drop in, drop out multiplayer.
Oh,
if that was a big thing with
Helldivers
Helldivers 2, that was a huge thing.
Yeah.
Being able to just be like, bro, you on?
Yeah,
dropping
dude.
in, and where you at? Or not even where you at. I'm just dropping in your general vicinity.
Yeah.
And we just take off running from there. And then you
Yeah.
need help, you're by yourself.
Yeah.
Like the signal, somebody randomly drops. I think that will, because it's not going to make the game easier, but it's going to make it, it's going to add that fun factor that a lot of times goes missing. But I'm quiet. I'm done.
I've never coughed and yawned at the same time.
Ooh, horrible.
Jesus. But yeah, I 100% agree with you, Baron, that that's one of the best things about Helldivers is like there's a lot of times that I do solo it, but there's areas that you'll run into on these planets and you're like, oh, fuck, I can't solo this shit. So you put a beacon down, and the way those servers are, bro, like you put that beacon down, there's people like this, bro, just pop it in right then and there. So it's a really great community. And I thought that, I mean, dude, they even had a story of a guy that was part of the Helldivers that turned on his fellow Helldivers and was killing them. Like he was going into these matches and just murdering the whole team and then exiting. So like there was a Twitter account and it popped up. It was like, if you see this man, he has turned against the Helldivers forces. I was like, fucking yes, bro. That is sick as shit, man. So moving on from that, of course, it's different style of game, but South Park Snow Day is a really fun game that you definitely should check out. Really great adult comedy, that honestly, for me, it was somewhat scaled back, because the last like Stick of Truth and Fractured Butthole, they were pretty far, bro. Like, there were some scenes in Fractured Butthole and Stick of Truth, like, while I'm trying to review the game, like, some sex scenes and shit are happening on the screen. I'm like, oh, shit.
That kind of upsets me, though, that they scaled it back. That's South Park. South Park holds no bars to nobody.
I agree 100%, but what I'm getting at is it was somewhat changed. It was somewhat changed because of the style of game. So instead of it being a turn-based game, it was a straightforward action-based game, an action RPG that was like story-driven, and they really wanted to focus in on that style of play. So you couldn't go to all these different houses and explore and have all this crazy shit, but there is some really crazy shit that happens in the game. And when I say shit, if you're a Star Wars fan, fuck, Star Wars popped up on my screen, sorry. If you're a South Park fan, and I'm saying the word shit, there's only one character that is made of shit in that universe. You need to play it just because of Mr. Hanky. Telling you. Also, another game that I loved this year was WWE 2K24. A wrestling experience demanding to be acknowledged. I was really honestly shocked right now. I was really honestly shocked by WWE 2K24. It was a really great experience, great story mode. The gameplay and graphics and stuff were fantastic. Shout out to John Cena announcing his retirement recently. But it was a really great experience. It really was. And speaking of great experiences, whenever it comes down to fighting style games, last on my list was Tekken 8. It is the new champion of fighting games. And I got to go ahead.
You didn't put Skull and Bones on your list?
You know what my Skull and Bones review was?
Shit.
Skull and Bones gets lost at sea. So it was. I had fun with Skull and Bones. I did. There were bolts. You and that stuffed penis. I really did. I had fun with Skull and Bones. There were some really great moments in Skull and Bones.
Oh yeah, there was.
The community events.
And then they flew right by you like a fart in a wind.
They honestly listen. What was shocking to me is
they produced the game. That's the shock to everybody.
No, to my friends at Ubisoft, forgive my friend Bolts. He forgets the great experiences that you have created previously.
Yeah, they're called Assassin's Creed. I understand.
Yes. Now
and
listen,
Far Cry. I understand.
Hear me out. Somebody that put hours in on the game. Okay, I'm telling you, there is some great experiences in Skull and Bones. There is, but what made it feel fleshed out and what made it feel like a really dull experience compared to something like Sea of Thieves was the aspect that you couldn't get out of the ship and just
Black
go
Flag
explore, or Black Flag.
Just saying.
There were some great moments, like, for instance, I had a community event at one point in time to where there was this big-ass ship out there, and, like, it had exclusive loot or something. I go out there, and I'm getting my ass kicked by this ship. I'm like, dude, I should have tried to link up with some people. I turn around, and because I was fighting in that community event, it had notified everybody that was on that server, hey, this guy's out here, and he's about to fucking die. Come out here and help him. So I turn around and there's like 15 ships flying up. I'm like, yeah, yes, thank God. So we ended up taking the guy down. No matter who you were, everybody got the loot. It wasn't like an exclusive thing. Everybody got it. And there's some really great systems set up to make Skull and Bones a fun experience in the future. But I'm going to kill you, Bolts. The game was getting to the point of being a Duke Nukem title. You know, it was getting to the point of being like pushed off so much from its original aspect. Like, I played it at E3 2018, and what I played and what Ubisoft Singapore showcased, it was fucking fun, bro. Like, it really felt like a multiplayer version of Assassin's Creed Black Flag. So, like, when I saw that it kept getting pushed off and kept getting pushed off, I was like, bro, what the fuck is happening? Like, this was a really great experience. So moving on from that, you bring up goddamn Skull and Bones, Bolts. Tekken 8 was by far one of my favorite games of 2024 so far. It was a really, really great game, dude. Like, so fun. Unbelievable graphical presentation, and it makes me so excited to see what Bandai Namco is going to bring out with the next Soul Calibur, because like the graphics in this game were so ultra realistic with Unreal Engine that they were doing. It's unbelievable. Great story, great community events available. They did a lot that kind of like what Capcom did, with having the arcade mode that you could play with friends and have this arcade story aspect, and customize your character. And they just did a really, really great job at presenting us with a new version of Tekken. That, I mean, we talk about this a lot, but honestly, at the age that us three guys are, we've been playing Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, Tekken, Virtua Fighter, Soul Calibur, all these fighting games since they came out.
Marvel versus Capcom.
Hey, and speaking of that, in the latest Deadpool comic, I don't know if this is a shout out, but in the latest Deadpool comic, Deadpool made a couple of little jokes, and then he was like, oh, that was a crazy move. And then it shows the next clip and he flips upside down. He's like, they really need to feature that in Marvel vs. Capcom 4.
Listen,
So, bro, if they came out with a Marvel vs. Capcom that was better than Infinite, because Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite was just, I'm sorry. It was, listen, it was so bad. Such a bad game. I was very disappointed as a fan of the Capcom Marvel vs. Capcom series. Me and Bolts, let me say it like this, Baron. Me and Bolts and our other roommate used to sit there day in and day out and play Marvel vs. Capcom 3. They would destroy me. I mean, they were so good. Bolts would cheat, of course, by getting Red Hulk and Mega Man. Okay,
it was Zero.
I'm sorry.
The strongest and the weakest characters, and in the middle, I had a Hawkeye.
Total fucking cheat. I'm telling you, the way that he would play. I mean, of course he wasn't cheating, but the way his system was set up, he would switch back and forth so quick. Like his combos, he would knock me in the sky with Red Hulk and then shoot a fucking arrow at me with Hawk. And then Zero would come across with a fucking beam and I'd be dead. Right at the beginning of the game, I'm like, all right, bro, fuck this shit.
And compared to our buddy Austin, I stood no chance against Austin.
Dude, Austin was crazy in that game. That's the same guy we were talking about earlier.
He used Deadpool, Ryu, and I don't even know who his third character. Spider-Man, I think it was, but I could be wrong.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So,
he was nasty, bro. He was nasty.
Is it bad that I hope they go back to like the hand drawn style of 2?
No.
Like that, I hope that they just go back to that.
Listen, I think
or do a Guilty Gear blend.
Yeah. I think what they did in Marvel vs. Capcom 3 was an okay, style of things, because it was like a 3-dimensional kind of like hand-drawn aspect. One of my favorite characters on Marvel vs. Capcom, of course, was I can't even remember his name. The Knight from fucking Super Ghouls and Ghosts.
Arthur?
Knight.
Arthur.
I was gonna say,
yes.
It was Knight.
Arthur. Yeah. He was one of my favorite characters. Super Ghouls and Ghosts series in general is one of my favorite series. But his level and his character, bro, I cannot tell you how many times I play online and just spam the fuck out of Arthur. Like throwing that sword, jumping back and forth, like it was amazing. But the art style, the pageantry of those games, of being able to, like, when you played someone online and you saw like a different version of Dante or something like that, and he had like crazy ass hair, you're like, what the fuck? How did they unlock him? And they just destroy you. It was such a fun game. And we need that back in the games industry. So Capcom, please bring us Marvel vs. Capcom 4, okay? Make it happen. So anyways, guys, we're at the end of our show. BioShock and a canceled Trevor GTA 5 DLC. Still so sad to see that didn't happen, but it's sad to see us go as well. So Baron, please do me a favor. Tell people where they can find you.
Yeah, lv1gaming.com if you want to read what we write or type, and what we type. And then for YouTube, it's youtube.com/lv1gaming20. And then of course we're on TikTok, LV1 Gaming, Twitter, LV1 Gaming. And then if you want to see me personally, anywhere I want you to find me, Baron J67.
You hear the way this guy is? I mean, come on. Why would you not follow this man? You know what I'm saying?
Don't.
Putting the LV1 out there.
Look, got some
really great content out there.
Look at us. Look at him.
Got some really, really great content out there. You guys definitely need to make sure to check them out, okay? lv1gaming.com. One of the I'm going to tell you guys this. One of the best crews that I've ever come to know. And I really do mean that. Like, one of the best crews I've come to know. Some of the great content creators out there. I'm so humbled to know you guys. I appreciate everything you do. We don't talk about like socials with Bolts because Bolts is Bolts.
I talk too much shit to have to be writing. So
yeah, he does. Bro, did you see that TJ was on?
Yeah, dude.
People Magazine and shit. What the fuck?
That's awesome.
My brother, or our brother TJ, he got with the girl that he's with now. The first date that they got together on was a blindfold date. They never met before. They had their backs turned to each other, and then they unblindfolded themselves, and one thing led to another. And they've been dating for a year, and he asked her to marry her and all this. But they were featured on People magazine and all this other stuff. Like just the other day, I was like, what the fuck was happening?
Badass.
Yeah, that is really cool. Really cool.
It's really, really cool. So shout outs to TJ, also a former co-host of the Second Opinion podcast. And we also used to have a little show called the Drunk Gamer Bros. So one day that could come back. We would, it was such craziness, dude. We also had episodes with Bolts to where we would do grilling and chilling. And so whenever we were butchers, we would do sausage and ribeyes and all this other stuff. We would try different meats, and we would actually pair it with different games. So like one time we had I think we had bear burgers. It was like actual bear ground meat and all this other stuff with sausage. And we would show people how we would cook it and prepare it. And then we would do, our gaming stuff and talk about it afterwards. But we did so much content, bro. We did that. Drunk Gamer Bros, we would literally get shit-faced before we would play the game. And then we would go and play Call of Duty. And Call of Duty, Star Wars. Bro, there was some great content off of those, man. There was some really great content off of those. But I just can't drink anymore, dude. Like, in California, bro, they were offering us so much alcohol at every one of these events. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it was everywhere.
It was everywhere. And I'm sitting there thinking in my head, bro, how did these people? I don't know how they do that shit, man.
And then there was no water. There was no bottled water anywhere. No. Even at the IGN Live event, they had trash cans filled with Mountain Dew.
Yeah,
Mountain Dew Zero. They had stuff for the diabetes boys. They had it. There was
no water,
but water. Oh no,
zero.
We don't have that.
Yeah,
no bottled water anywhere
bro.
Not even Dasani. Bro, it was weird. It was so weird how there was no water anywhere.
That's funny as hell.
It really was crazy. They were like, get drunk or get to the point where you're
everybody's eating ice. That's
bro, for real.
It was. I wish I was lying to you guys. There was no water.
But anyway, so definitely make sure to check out Level 1 Gaming. Check us out at Second Opinion Pro. Of course, Cinelinks.com as well. There's some really great stuff coming up. Your boy, August 30th might be flying to Seattle to go to PAX. And then there's the big possibility of Tokyo Game Show this year. So I don't know for sure, but if things are lining out the way they're lining out, it could possibly happen. Big thing is, though, outside of the games industry, me, Uncle Chris, the kids might be going to Universal Studios this year as well. Taking the kids to see Super Mario and finally taking Dara to where Bolts has rubbed it in my face about is going down and checking out the Harry Potter world out there. Look, Slytherin. Bolts, is that your house?
I actually am Gryffindor. Dusty is Ravenclaw.
Ravenclaw.
Oh,
yep.
That's the other house. There's Gryffindor, Slytherin, Ravenclaw, and Hufflepuff, right?
Yes. Yeah,
okay.
Dusty got chosen for Ravenclaw, and Dusty, my wife, is, if not the biggest Harry Potter person I know.
Huge Harry Potter freak.
Very much so.
I love it.
Yes.
Yeah, and you know, it's Celeb, you give me Hufflepuff vibes. You really do.
Why is this?
You seem cheery. Even right
are
now,
the people that are part of Hufflepuff, are they real cheery?
Yeah.
Because from my understanding, I've even my wife, she's a big into Harry Potter. Hufflepuff, they're kind of pushed off to the side. They were like, that's the Hufflepuff.
Well, you get much movie time, and then their star got murdered. Horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, they did. You fucking put me in the house with people that get murdered and me being cheery, bro. What the fuck?
I wish I could get my Marauders map and my.
But they have this set up, right? Like they have it set up at Universal to where you can put on the hat and it chooses you and all this shit. Right?
I didn't see the sorting hat, but I waited in line to get my wand from Ollivanders, and I'm not gonna lie, I was very upset that I wasn't chosen by the store. It was this child whose parents love them way more than they love me, and the store chose them, and their wand was working and destroying stuff because they were.
Oh shit, that's crazy, bro.
And I was a little butthurt.
Yeah,
I waited in line like everybody else.
Yeah.
And why wasn't I chosen?
Right.
My Owlin letter haven't came. Let me stop. I'm clearly this is a sore spot.
Holy shit!
I'm gonna stop.
The way he looked down right there.
He's like, son of a bitch.
Where's my fucking owl?
That's pretty great. That's pretty great.
But no, we talked about it a couple of times, and Daryl wants to go, for the Harry Potter stuff, and then Dante and Amar are the perfect age right now to take him to go see, like Despicable Me and the Super Mario World. Like Dante's gonna lose his shit, bro. He's gonna lose it. So it's definitely something that we're thinking about doing this year. But anyways, guys, I love you so much. Thank you so much. Big shout out to both of you for coming on. And we'll talk to you soon on the next episode.